What is up, everybody? It's your boy DFS Up North here with DFS Army and another Four Thoughts PGA podcast. Today we are talking about the Valero Texas Open and what do we do with Big Daddy Bryson. Let's go. What up, everybody? Welcome back. It's your boy, DFS Up North, aka Josh Thomas. I'm here with DFS Army and our Four Thoughts PGA podcast, where we talk about the upcoming week, where we're at, what are we doing, what's the course look like, who's won here before, what type of player are we going with, and then I give you a sneak peek of my cheat sheet, where I talk about the exact player pool that I am playing in DFS this week. First, let's do a little bit of rewind, talk a little bit about the match play. What a fun week. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. I wish we got to do this a couple of times a year, and then maybe the shine would wear off a little bit and think, but I love that week. Interestingly, we were able to get a 4-4 this week in the finals. I think 15 guys or so got it in the big contest, which is awesome. Really, really impressive for me. Mediocre week, wasn't great. Guys like Bobby Mack missing. That was a big swing and a miss. Tom Hoagie hurt me big time, but in an event like that, you gotta take stands, and I'll take stands all day. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and we'll eat it, and we'll move on to the next week. And that's what we are doing here. We are at the Valero Texas Open. Hold on now. We are at the Valero Texas Open. I'm super excited about this event, and we are 1 week away from the Masters, you guys. 1 week away from the Masters. Can you believe it? Like, I can't. Right now, here's what I need to do. Okay. Those of you who have watched before, we are 0 for so far. We are still looking for a winner. So what you need to do is in the comments, you need to like this video. You need to comment below and tell me who you think wins this week. You think it's Bryson DeChambeau? You think it's Jordan Spieth? You think it's Rory, who's not even on course right now? Write a comment below. Let me know. If somebody hits it, I will send you Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. I'll write you a check and send it in the mail. Whatever you need me to do, I will send you $50 cash money, homie. Let's go. That's at least 3 Milli Maker entries for the Masters. That's half of a mega Milli Maker for the Masters. So again, like, comment, let me know who you think is going to win. $50 cash. It takes you literally like 3 seconds. Just do it. All right. So we're at the Valero Texas Open. This is a really fun event. Again, this is the week before a major. Can you believe it? I cannot believe we're here. Oh, yeah. What am I talking about? Come to DFS Army if you want to play with us. Code Up North gets you 10% off for life. You can read the below. All we do is win, right? All we do is win. Guys have been crushing. You know what? Guys crushed last week, and I can't even believe it. Alex came in doing the F1 content for us. The guys smashed and over in Saudi Arabia, where they were kind of forced to drive as far as what I'm hearing. So makes the Saudi Golf League sound pretty awesome. So but yeah, here we go. We are at TPC San Antonio for the Valspar. Jordan Spieth won here. Corey Connors, the legend of Corey Connors, started here last year, was second last week. Third last week at the match play, but really his whole spiel started here. He Monday qualified into this event in 2019 and ended up winning. Thankfully, we were able to get him into the prize or into the player pool. But we play at TPC San Antonio on the Oaks course. It's a par 72, 74, 38, pretty slow greens and POA greens. That is interesting. We don't see a ton of POA in Texas, but this course we are POA overseed on the course. So what that tells us is that the greens are going to be a little bit bumpy. If you're playing showdown, you might want to get guys who are out in the morning when the conditions are better. We should see a split in scores this week in terms of the morning should play, I would imagine, about a half a stroke easier than the afternoon. But also the big factor this week is going to be the wind. Right now, it doesn't look like we're going to see a big wave difference, but that's something that we need to keep an eye on. Right now, it looks about the same for each day. Friday going to be pretty windy, and I would imagine that we see some higher scores on Friday because of that. Green size, normal. Bunkers, 64, pretty normal. Not a ton of water on this course. Some comp course this year, TPC Summerlin, where they play the TPC Summerlin. That's where they play the the Shriners, right? That's maybe the big one. Then we got Nine Bridges, Riviera, Genesis. They're okay, but I really, really like TPC Summerlin as a comp course for here. The Shriners Children's Hospitals Open, usually a fall swing event. Not long, rough fairways, rye, between fescue. You don't get a ton of bad lies in the fairways, but as you can see here, lots of trees off the fairway. You can get in trouble if you are not finding fairway here. You can ask Kevin Na, who ended up taking a 16 on a hole here before. Average cut line at the Valero +1. Average winning score is -16. Like I said, if the wind picks up this week, we could see years like when Kevin Chappell won. We had a -12 year. Average score per round here, 0.5 over par. So even though we're seeing guys, Connors won at -20. Spieth won at -18. We could see, sort of this, some guys not shoot, super low at all. It's similar to the Valspar in that, we have a lot of really, really long approach shots. So actually 18% of the approach shots here are from 250 yards or longer. We've talked about this before, that actually tends to benefit the guys who are a little bit shorter off the tee just because they're more used to hitting those shots. So this is an interesting course. It's a ball striker's course. You really need to strike it well. You got to score on the par fives. I think it's a fun event to try to handicap because there's a couple of different ways that you can get it done here. If we look at some of the former winners here, we got Jordan Spieth, right? -18, was fourth in approach for the week. He actually putted fairly well, not like godly Spieth-like, but he putted well, which was able to get it done for him at -18. The interesting thing with Spieth is that he scrambled really, really well here. He only hit like 55% of fairways last year when he won. So was able to, from the rough, find these greens. It's not super penal as long as you're not too far off the rough into the crap. Corey Connors just got it done by leading the field in strokes gained approach, was positive putting for the week. So what we see here typically is guys who don't putt very well because of the slowness of the greens and the POA. We see those guys sort of kind of level out, and if they can level out, they can win. A guy who didn't level out last year or 2 years ago when Connors won was Ben On. So Ben On led the field in strokes gained tee to green, but lost strokes putting, finished 7th, right? So we need at minimum just an average week. We've got I forgot to change the names there, but -10 winner. It didn't save. My things didn't save. Corey Connors was not at -10. But we had Kevin Chappell one here at -12. And then Andrew Landry. Andrew Landry won at, I believe, -16. So some no-namers can get it done here. So it's an interesting event. Let's look at the field. Let's take a look at guys that I'm heavy on this week. I'm going to give you some reasonings why, talk a little bit about them. We're going to look over at the research station that we have at DFS Army, something that is a VIP only tool, and talk about how we kind of sort that to try to find maybe diamonds in the rough or gems that can come through at hopefully low ownership. All right. So let's share my screen here. Boom, boom, boom. Bring up my tabs. All right, well, there's the research station to start, but let's go over to my cheat sheet. All right, zoom out a little here for you guys. Again, this is something that our VIPs get every single week. I break down the field. I don't break down everyone in the field, but guys that I'm interested in, guys who maybe have a little bit of a story, or guys that I don't really like this week. So it starts at the top for me. My core plays for this week are going to be Gary Woodland, Adam Hadwin, Luke List, and Robert McIntyre. Woodland, I think this is, so for me, you look at these guys, 9,300, 89, 85, 79. For me, the way that I want to attack this week is I want to really go balanced with my build. All right. Rory's fine. Spieth is fine. I love the Connors value is insane. He's a cash lock for me, but I want to try to just kind of hammer this middle tier of guys. All right. And I actually might go like 5 guys in that like upper 8K range, or even including Bobby Mack in there at 79, and then one really cheapie. All right. Because I think that there's some upside to some of these guys that are below 7K, but there's a ton of risk, right? I think we're going to see 6 of 6 be really, really low this week, especially if the wind picks up on Friday. But for me, I just want to find like 5 solid guys that I feel really good about. And it starts for me with Gary Woodland. He's just gaining a ton of strokes approach. He's been really good around the green lately. Like his game is starting to round back into that form that he had earlier in maybe about a year ago, right? He's kind of gone through some struggles. There was a time where I said I wouldn't put an American dollar on Gary Woodland, not even a Canadian dollar. But he's really come around. I think he's a great course fit here. I'm really excited to play him. Rates out really well for me. So Woodland's fine. At the top for me, one of the guys that my first click every time is going to be Gary Woodland. I think this is a great course for him. We talk about ball strikers, guys who can't putt. Gary Woodland, right? He has a demon putting week. He's going to be fighting for a win. Adam Hadwin, another guy who's just been playing outstanding, coming up back-to-back top 10s. Elite. One of the best long iron players on tour. Shriners is a great course comp for here. He's been great there. Only 1 week that he didn't gain strokes over in 2022. So I think he's going to be somewhat popular here at 8,900. I think you can play him in cash if you want to. He's not in my cash core, but he's definitely cash viable. Really like him. But you're going to need to get some. You're going to need to get some ownership on him. Luke List is the third guy on my core list. When we talk about TPC San Antonio, like I said, ball striking, right? Ball strikers who can't putt. Luke List fits the bill. There's only a few players in the field who are better than List when it comes to that. And those guys are ranked in the top 20, top 15 in the world. We're talking about basically Hideki Matsuyama and Rory McIlroy. Elite par 5 score with his length, approach game. Over the last 24 rounds, he's one of the best in the field around the green. 17th here last year. Struggled. He's coming off 2 MCs. He got the bad side of the draw at the Players, and then he got smoked at the API because he lost like 9 strokes putting. It's a risky take with Luke List, but at this price in this field, I'm pretty high on him. And then right back to the well with Bobby Mack. Wasn't great in match play last week, but his form has been really good. He's playing well. This is a good course fit for him. He's a great long iron player, lefty. Love Robert McIntyre at 7,900. He's a guy that, if I get 30%, I'm probably going to be 3x, 4x the field there. As we go down, cash, we're just looking for guys that are going to make the cut here. I want to talk a little bit about some of these upper tier guys. Really think that Hideki's the leverage play this week. I think he's going to come in under own by Spieth, by McIlroy with Connors right there. I think that Hideki is the leverage play. I think we're looking at 10% ownership for Hideki. I think we could see 30. I got 15 to 20 in there. I'm probably going to be a little bit higher. I know that I'm talking about a balanced build, but I'm having a hard time not biting on the leverage that Hideki is. Great around the greens, good long iron player. Like, obviously, I think back to maybe the signature Hideki win before the Masters was his win at Firestone, right? Long course, hit fairways, hit greens, scramble around the greens, long par 5s. Like, that's right up his alley. So I love Hideki here. Rory, highest price guy on the board. He's not even on the course yet. He's playing Augusta today. So that tells you about maybe where he's at. I think we could feasibly, if he plays well in a practice round, I think there's a possibility. I don't want to get too excited, but I think there's a possibility that WDs this week. So be careful there, or he's just not into it. Answer though. Answer's going to be a fairly popular play this week. I like Abe Answer. I'm an Abe Answer truther. He just doesn't rate out well for me here. And he's just done nothing like all year. Played well last week. Probably should have won his group, but like he's done nothing all year. If I want him to finish 30th, great. That's fine. But I need more than that at this price tag. I will say this. I talk about comp courses, TPC Summerlin. Abe Answer has crushed Summerlin over his career. So maybe I'm wrong here. I'm gonna be a little underweight, but it's tricky. 8K. Like I talked about all those guys in there that I really like. Davis Riley won here on the KFT, the Corn Ferry Tour, played this course. So he's interesting. That's why he's priced up there, coming off a second place finish. Charlie Hoffman, this could be called the Charlie Hoffman Open. The guy just absolutely crushes here, runner up the last 2 years. You're going to be crazy not to get to him. Maybe the cheap guy here that I really am high on is Patton Kazire. Just been so steady. Game's really in good shape. As we go down, I like guys like Kuchar. I think KH Lee is interesting at 7,600. A guy that I'm going to be really high on here is two guys actually, is Takumi Kanaya and Brian Stewart. Kanaya looked great last week. And Stewart as well at the Corrales looked really good. People might be excited to play somebody like Alex Smalley. He's just not ball striking it well enough, right? We'll see that here when we look in on the research station. Neesmith, I'm gonna be pretty high on. He was close to a core play for me. As we go down, I really like guys like Tyler Duncan, elite ball striker who can't putt. Boom, there he is. Bryce Garnett playing great. Ben Coles, really, really interesting upside play. So for me, that's where we're at. You can see tiers. I got the notes in here for tiers and where I'm going. Tiers really interesting this week. I don't have showdown stuff in yet. I want to see the weather. But let's take a look at the research station. So how do we use the DFS Army tools to find maybe a lowish owned gem in this field? Right. And one of the ways that we can do it is we can sort by a couple of things. So we talked about, hey, you need to be a ball striker and you need to score on the par fives. Well, one of the things that we have is that we break down the holes by, short par three, long par three. So there's 4 long par threes. We know you don't necessarily need to score on them, but you do need to score on the par fives. So we break it down by DK points per hole on average, or FD points, and then there's strokes gained on those holes as well. So if we sort by long par 5 scoring, oops, that's dead last. How is Joey Bramlett's dead last? So if we look at the long par 5 scoring, just like I said, right, we got Hideki Matsuyama there. Elite long par 5 score. Second in the field. Ian Poulter, interesting name. I might have to come back to him. Luke List, who we talked about, we love. David Lipsky, interesting, been playing well. Who's gonna be like the lowest owned guy here? I think Poulter might be. I don't love it, but I don't mind that. Sean Stefani, 6,000. Hey, we played Bill Haas the other week, paid off. Like, he is a good long par 5 scorer. Wyndham Clark's a really interesting name. Rory, obviously. But those guys are good. Let's see short par 5 because they're correlated. Anybody go both lists? Let's see here. Oops, I need the rank. There we go. Westy O'Rory's on both lists. Wyndham Clark's on both lists. We gotta get a little more Wyndham Clark in my life. Gary Woodland pops up here now, right? 9. Wyndham Clark, that's an interesting one. Hudson Swafford struggled here. Bryson, what are we gonna do with Bryson? Obviously, he's a stat god, right? The guy rates out super well everywhere, regardless. And this is a course that he could dominate. But did you watch him play golf last week? And that's kind of the hard one. That's the hard thing. Like, did you watch him play golf last week? And the answer is, if you didn't, he looked terrible. Was hitting low stingers, which I'm interested in, especially if it gets windy here, but just struggled. A struggle fest for him last week. So not somebody I'm super excited about. Another way we can find maybe a low-owned gem is, sorting by approach. So who's been really good approach lately? So we got Austin Smotherman. We got Matthew Neesmith, Marty Laird. Oh, look at Gary Woodland. You wonder why he's in there as a core play for me, right? We go over the last 25. Let's see if any of these people change. Luke Donald continues to just ball strike the shit out of it. Let's go, Donald. I might have to get a little bit of him. Luke List, Patton Kazire, Decky, Smotherman, Knox, right? These guys over the last 25 have been really good. We can sort by strokes gained around the green. We know that that's going to be important here. It's tricky to put a lot of emphasis in it because if you're gaining strokes around the green, guess what? You're probably missing, or you are missing the green, which is never ideal. But guys like Brian Stewart, Davis Riley, it gives me some encouragement to see them doing well. And, you look here and see, okay, look at over, his last 50, 0.1, 0.11, 0.76. So Stewart's iron play has been really, really improving. I like that. That's exciting to me. Ian Poulter, man. I'm going to have to get some Polts in my lineup. Connors and Kirk, 2 cash locks for me, and no wonder why, right? Elite ball strikers, good off the tee, in really good shape. The other thing, we can look at here is we can look at the recent form, field rank splits, fantasy scoring, made cut percentage. Who's got a really good made cut percentage lately? Who's crushing it? Let's see. Oh, Bobby Mack, Rory, Decky, Mab. Oh, KH Lee. Yes, that's why I'm excited about KH Lee this week. She's been crushing. Siwoo Kim's been making a ton of cuts too. Very, very unlike Siwoo Kim, but like him too. So it's, again, interesting week. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I'm excited to see maybe a little bit more weather stuff come up, but it's regardless going to be a fun week. If you're not a DFS Army VIP, what are you doing? You can get in the chats. You can argue with me about why the Masters is the easiest major to win. We got the Masters coming up next week. We'll have full slate of coverage for you guys. I'm excited. Again, you want $50, comment below. Tell me who you got, who's going to win. If you get it right, you pick KH Lee comes out, crushes, win. You're the only guy that picks them. You win the big bucks. I'll send you a cash check, money order, Western Union, whatever you want, however you need to get it. I'll send it from my bank account, from my personal bank account, because that's what I do for our people here at DFS Army. Again, thank you for watching. Try to keep this short and sweet so you guys get all the info that you need. Hit me up on Twitter at DFS Up North. Or if you're in our DFS Army VIP, you can hit me up in Discord at DFS Up North. If you have any questions, you can always find me on #PGA Talk. Let's go. Have a great week, everybody.